represent. Brothers and sisters, the person who I will be introduced to you is no stranger to anyone. You know him for the last time. He is Rakeeb Mohammed, the president of the Sugar Boilers Association and the ex-Carolina Workers Association. Brother Rakeeb has been in this job for the last couple of years and have maintained and sustained his stand on behalf of the ex-Carolina workers at the staff level and also at all other levels. Tonight, I bring to you Mohammed, the man of the working class, comrade Brother Rakeeb Mohammed.
Thank you, Brother John, for that wonderful introduction. President General of the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union, my good friend Stephen Rangisun, in fact, who heads the Land Management Unit at the RNC Complex, where each and every single carny worker who has gotten visa, and even if you are a squatter or a land tenant of carny land, you can go to Steve RNC Complex on a Monday and Thursday, and your business will be taken care of. I promise you that. My dear brothers and sisters, we are here tonight in Orange Valley. We have been here, and we have been in Orange Field last week, and our response concerning the ex-charity workers and by extension representation in Cuba North is overwhelming. I want to just remind you for the work we have been doing for the last 2 years. We have been articulating the problems with one of the most important things of all ex-carny workers, over 7,000, which is our visa package. And you know, in this country, we in Trinidad and Tobago, small Trinidad and Tobago, we have set certain world records by certain people, like Brian Lara, his 400 runs in Test cricket, his 500 runs in domestic cricket. It is the first time in the working class that I have experienced a group of workers in Trinidad and Tobago has set a world record, and that is you, the ex-carny workers. Because you have set a record by two governments who have denied you of your rights, your entitlement, your legal entitlement, which was your visa package. And it is 11 years now that you are waiting on that package and you cannot receive that package. All that we have done through this union and through other experiences, we have not been successful. Only promises and promises and promises. The evil and the wicked PNM, they victimize the sugar industry. And I can give you an experience whereby I met with 5 ministers together with other leaders of the trade union in Port of Spain in the Ministry of Labor. And when we beg and we plead for the ex-carny workers, one ugly-looking minister, and I will call his name, John Rahal, was only giving you a sign to cut your throat. Martin Joseph sat there and skin his gun. Where Martin Joseph is today. God able laugh at us. Legislate. The President General will tell you what the legislate has said. And all those ministers did not care about the people of Carney and Carney 1975 Limited. They And today, our government of Trinidad and Tobago is setting that same pace too. Because the PNM had used Caribbean Limited as a political football. Everyone knows that. And today, there is no Caribbean 1975 Limited. So who they use as the political football? They use you, the ex-Caribbean workers, my dear brothers and sisters. And this time, we are saying we must put a stop to that, my dear brothers and sisters. When we look at the manifesto of a government which we have voted for in 2010, and I will just show you the face of that manifesto where it says, prosperity for all in 2010. 4.5 years have passed and over $200 billion have been spent. And today, ex-Caribbean workers, and by extension, the fishermen who feel, my dear brothers and sisters, might benefit from whatever promises. It was promised by the PNM government and it was promised by the PP government to end all carryovers and give land. 12 years has passed and over 50% of our people hasn't got our land. You expect fishermen to get land now? That and a green donkey in summer, you would never see it. 2011, an era of caring. This is our government I'm speaking about, I'm not speaking about the PNM. An era of caring. And when you look inside these bushes, so many lovely pictures showing what they are doing. What they are doing for you in Cuba North. And not only Cuba North, what are they doing for their people who is the ex-Caribbean workers? Absolutely nothing. And when you listen to the news today, when we walked yesterday in Orange Valley, and the news just went out last night, you hear Basan Barak making all sorts of nonsense remarks. One time he said, hey, she has this under control, the next time we are walking very slow, and they doesn't know what to say. Because my dear brothers and sisters, they want to use you as they have used you over the last 40 years. And we are not going to allow that. May 2012, the era of caring continues. We haven't seen it. In the same manner, 2013, we haven't seen it. And 2014, on May 23rd in Parliament, the Honorable Dr. Botiwari stood up in Parliament that Friday and told this country that they have achieved 90% of their manifesto. Not even half of a percent for ex-Caribbean workers. And we sat in the boardroom of Re-Entry Complex on the 24th of May, and we waited to hear what our Prime Minister and what our government would deliver for us in Caribbean. And not one single word on the 4th anniversary of the People's Partnership Government was said about Caribbean workers. And you will hear later what was said. The AB Street alone, I'm sure many of you have seen this document. Union Boss does not speak for us. This is a copy of an article by the Voice. And if you see, if I pass around this for you, and you see the guys in these pictures, you would know who these guys are. They are just foolers. They are talking about their 2% which they have received, and they didn't know how they received that. It was 7 and 8 men who stood up against 4,000 people in Felicity in the Shabona West by-election on June 28 last year, 2013. And we stood there and we were embarrassed and we were cursed. And that resulted in the 2% management being paid on the 5th of September. And on the 27th of July, in the rally in Pier Road, I just passed a few of these. This is my evidence. This, the Prime Minister was speaking there, not me, not Nirvan Maharaj, not John Jagdal, not Stephen Ramsey. The Prime Minister had promised, because we had negotiated on the 23rd of July $51.89 million to be shared among all ex-carry workers who had invested in their in the UPC plan. And that was promised to be paid in 1 and 2 months. What happened? Over 14 months have passed. What has happened? $55 million for churches, $10 million for footballers. And when we look at the amount of million being spent all over the country, you and your family are still waiting for what is due to you. When you get that money, my dear brothers and sisters, it might come to value to you. And that was a promise. That was a promise that was negotiated by us. And today, Vasant Bharat would say, that is in the AG's hand. That came out the AG's hand on the 20th of December 2013. Because when I met with Dr. Rudal Monilal on the 20th of December, you will recall recently when the opposition leader had said $600 million was spent in legal fees by the Attorney General. And you know what he did with this sweetener? He sent it to Paul Laws in England to clarify that this is a one-off situation whereby it should never happen again. Spent millions of dollars in England, and it ended up back in Trinidad with Femtoy Ramsahoy arguing and finishing that problem. And until today, my dear brothers and sisters, that $51.89 million is not being paid to you. Because they will come and throw that bone to you coming for election. That is what they will do to you. Come and throw a bone for you for election and expect you to vote once more. But this 2015 general election, my dear brothers and sisters, the ex-carry workers, the Sugar Boilers Association, and the All Trinidad General Workers Trade Union will make sure that all ex-carry workers, and by extension the people of Kumanoor, get proper representation. My dear brothers and sisters, Rujanat Indar Singh, Jairam Simongal, I have no respect for these guys because they stand and lie to you. And every time the ex-carry workers and the All Trinidad opens their mouth, Indar Singh, Jairam Simongal, running them out of the radio and telling people about they giving out lease. That lease that they give you, my dear brothers and sisters, worth nothing to you. It worth nothing to you because 74-year-old Mr. Maharaj, Vasil Maharaj, got his lease on the 8th of October. He got his lease on the 8th of October. And when he asked where this land was, nobody could tell him. that day 510 leases were given out. Just paper like this was given out to the ex-carry workers, and nobody knew where to find those lands, where the roads are, where the drains are, where the infrastructure are. You does not know. Propaganda by telling you that you could transfer your land, and you will hear about transfer later. You will hear about the problems about transferring later. Just fooling the ex-carry workers, and they will come to you in the next 2 or 3 months and ask you to vote for them once more. My dear brothers and sisters, on the 8th of October, I stood at the NSA complex and saw 74-year-old, 70-year-old, 64-year-old people who couldn't walk. I saw people lifting their old parents and uncles and aunts bodily from a car to go upstairs to Renzi complex to receive a lease that is worth nothing. And the Prime Minister, her picture is all over Trinidad and Tobago, saying that she cares for all, but not the ex-carry workers. Because it hurt me and it hurt the whole Trinidad that people who have labored according to our brother who have just spoken just about his grandmother, who would get up 4 o'clock in the morning to go and cut cane. Some people get up 11:30 night to make their tasks. And our Prime Minister could not come to deliver those leases because you know why? She knows exactly that is a sham. But she had time for a gentleman who got a stroke, who made millions of dollars, to visit him in the hospital. She went to visit Stalin in the hospital. And she don't want to see ex-carry workers. The only time I want to see you, my dear brothers and sisters, is when it's time to raise your finger and vote for them. And I am telling you, my dear brothers and sisters, this group which we have formed, we will work hand in hand with anybody to solve the ex-carry workers, the fishermen, and the people of Uber North problems. We will work hand in hand with anybody to complete that job. And come 2015, we have lived in Uber North, most of us, for our lives. I have lived in Uber North for 54 years. And our representative from Uber North was always from outside. Come 2015, my dear brothers and sisters, Uber North and this group will be represented with a member from Uber North and from nowhere else. From nowhere else, we don't want no outsider to come and represent us. So my dear brothers and sisters, I hope I have enlightened you enough, and I expect that come in the next few weeks, we will be all over Uber North and all over the sugar industry, bringing people up to date. And do not be misled by the media. Do not be misled by our government ministers. What they are saying, they are preparing leases, and leases, all those are wasting time. Preparing a lease and giving you is not what you want. You want to get your land, you want to get your money what is owed to you, you want to get your residential plot. Your residential plot, my dear brothers and sisters, their plan on the 2nd of December 2014, we got information and we had a press conference in the Renzi complex, whereby 9 sites which were developed for the ex-carry workers would be given for land for the landless. Because you know why? We had forced the implementation of the DRC judgment upon this government. Because they did not understand that you do not pay for your visa package. So you would not pay for any residential lot where they are charging you $20,000, $25,000 and $30,000. And you know what? They decided that ex-carry brokers would be getting that land free according to law. So they could wait until 2030 or 2045 or something like that. And that is a government that we have voted for. So my dear brothers and sisters, we have to be very careful. And we have to leave our traditions behind and study for our children in the future. I thank you very much, my dear brothers.
Thank you, Comrade Rakeeb. Brothers and sisters, Comrade Rakeeb has outlined some of the issues that the ex-colony workers face and they will continue to face. Because those people who have received leases, some of them, most of them, do not know where the locations are, where it is situated. They talk about the 22-acre plot. Where is the irrigation to plant the crop? But right down the road there, who gets land and what they do with it is your land. But they took and give it to them. I say no more on that. That will be said later on. I want to bring on to you the person demonstrated to Union Valley and Waterloo and the surrounding area. I bring to you a humble man who is not the ex-employee of the Navy and is here to address the lead, heads and coordinate the unit, the Carmel Lands unit at the VNG complex. I bring on to you Steve Ramkison for this.
Thank you, Chairman. Mr. Nirvan Raj, President of the Alta and General Lucas Trade Union. Rakeeb, Mohammed, President of the Sugar Boilers Association. Ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, the media, a pleasant good night to one and all. It's amazing how history can repeat itself. I remember addressing an audience here shortly afterwards the People Partnership came into government. And that date was July the 4th, Sunday, July the 4th, right here. Now what happened, I was a former employee of Caroni. I used to manage all Caroni tenanted lands. And after the closure, Caroni, I was more or less forced to go in fishing industry. So I became a fisherman. So during that time, we formed the Orange Valley Fisher Folks Association, and I was the president from 2005 to 2010. Right here at this point, we had invited several ministers to attend that meeting. We had Mr. Rudy Nursing, we had Ramona Ramia, Mr. Fazal Karim, and Mr. Basan Barak was able to come, but he sent a representative. And at that meeting, we were discussing not Caroni issues, but we were discussing the challenges faced by fisher folks. And at that meeting, we were promised by all the ministers present that they would address all the challenges faced by fisher folks. And I have a little clipping here from the newspaper, July the 4th, where the ministers and them came and the promises they made to fisher folks. And at that meeting, I told them that we had formed an alliance with a company called Foreign Trade Investors. That's a company based in Port of Spain. And they had several proposals to develop the fishing sector. And we had approached the then PNM government for assistance. And like any other enterprise, we were promised that yes, they're going to do something. So the PNM left us in abeyance, no assistance, until the People Partnership came. And then they made several promises to us. And just like what the PNM did, they never fulfilled their promises, and today the fishing sector is a dying industry. And it may die just like what had happened to Caroline. But my address to you all this evening is not about the fishing sector, but more to deal with Caroline land issue. Now, as you are aware, Caroline was the largest landholder after the state. Caroline owns 77,000 acres. And if you check the value of that land, it's worth billions of dollars. Yet still, it costs the state not even $1 billion to pay off sugar workers. And today, the VSEP land is an entitlement to sugar workers. It's not a favor that the state is giving to you all, but it's an entitlement. And yet still, they can't fulfill that little promise to you all. Now, in 2003, Caroline closed down. And VSEP packages was offered to about approximately 8,000 workers. But 7,200 workers was promised residential lot and agricultural 2-acre plot. But during tenure of Caroline, there were approximately 10,000 tenants. And today, each one of them, those tenants, they are having tremendous problems. And I'll come to that in a little while. Apart from that, there are several squatters on Caroline land. It's estimated at this present time there are over 3,500 residential squatters on Caroline land. Now, I came to a meeting here, just like you all, I think it was about a month ago, and I always wondered who is representing former sugar workers. They have so much concerns, so much problems. And when I heard this group here was representing sugar workers, I pledged my support to the organization, which is now called the National Solidarity Assembly. Now, when I joined the group, I was told that there is several employees, former employees, coming to the Renzi complex and complaining about their lands. So because of the influx of ex-workers coming to the Renzi to find out about their land, I had proposed to set up what you call a Caroline Land Management Unit. And the union accepted the proposal, and today we have a unit established. And that unit is to establish all ex-employees with respect to the VSEP 2-acre plot and residential plot. We are also assisting all squatters on Caroline lands and the 10,000 registered tenants that we have on Caroline records. So anybody who encounter a problem, they can feel free to come to the UNC complex. We are also providing free legal advice on any land matters that you all have. The days of the office, it will be on a Monday and Tuesday, preferably in the morning time. Now, I just want to touch on a little thing. While we have so much outstanding matters with VSEP lands, the government took a decision recently that these lands can be transferred. That's the leases. However, we realized that the state don't have any system in place to deal with these transfers. However, we are developing what you call a land policy to tell the state how they should go about managing these lands. Now, you all here from Orange Valley, you all must have heard about the Caroline Green Initiative. Now, I asked the question some time ago, how many people in Orange Valley or in the union is benefiting from that?